The year is 1800. Sydney, perched on the rugged coastline of New South Wales, is a city still finding its shape. Less than 15 years have passed since the first fleet arrived, and yet the settlement has begun to carve its presence into this wild, untamed land. Timber shacks rise alongside clay cottages. Smoke curls from small hearths, blending with the salty breeze, carrying the scent of bread baking, coal burning, and the ever-present tang of the harbour. This is a city built on the labor of the dispossessed and the determined, convicts sent from Britain for crimes both petty and serious, work alongside free settlers seeking fortune or a fresh start. Every brick laid, every street swept, and every dock constructed carries the weight of hope, desperation, and survival. Here, the boundaries between punishment and possibility blur, and every dawn brings with it a promise that the colony might endure. At the harbor, life thrives in constant motion. Tall ships, their sails taut with wind, arrive from Britain, bringing provisions, letters, and news from the distant world they left behind. Merchants call across the docks, their voices sharp and insistent, negotiating the exchange of goods. Timber, flour, salted meat, and rum are unloaded and carried along muddy streets, while Aboriginal men and women observe quietly from the shore, their canoes slicing through the water with ease and grace, guardians of a land whose stories long predate the first fleet. The harbour is more than a port. It is the artery through which the settlement breathes, linking the colony to the outside world and to the hopes of its inhabitants. Ships' bells ring, ropes creak, and the scent of salt water mingles with smoke from the blacksmith's forges. Every day brings new arrivals, new challenges, and new dreams, but also the constant reminder that life here is fragile, precarious, and utterly dependent on the labor of human hands. Through the narrow, unpaved streets of Sydney, the colony hums with a mixture of chaos and order. Traders set up stalls where fresh produce, potatoes, onions, and sometimes exotic fruits sits beside imported tea, sugar, and cloth. The scent of baked bread and roasting meat mingles with the more pungent smells of livestock and horse manure. Children run barefoot between the stalls, while women carry baskets brimming with vegetables and household necessities. Convicts labor in workshops, building furniture, repairing shoes, or shaping timber for construction. They live under the watchful eyes of the officers, yet some find ways to trade, barter, and even gamble, seeking small freedoms amidst strict routines. Free settlers navigate these streets as well, setting up small businesses, tending to gardens, and attempting to stake a claim to prosperity. The city is a patchwork of ambition and survival, where every face tells a story of struggle and resilience. Yet Sydney is not a city built on empty land. The Eora people have called this harbour home for countless generations. Their villages line the shores, their canoes moving silently across the waters. They watch, sometimes with curiosity, sometimes with caution, as the new settlers construct homes and cut down trees that have stood for centuries. Trade occurs in small, careful exchanges, shells, fish, and knowledge for cloth and metal, but tension simmers beneath the surface. The land remembers its first inhabitants, even as the colony asserts itself. In these early years, the interaction between Aboriginal communities and settlers is complex. Moments of cooperation exist alongside conflict. Sydney is a place where cultures meet, clash, and adapt, and the echoes of this encounter will resonate for centuries to come. Life in 1800, Sydney is laborious and unrelenting. Convicts dig ditches, mend roads, and build the very structures that define the city. Blacksmiths hammer iron into tools, nails, and horseshoes. Carpenters fashion timber into ships' masts and furniture. The smoke from kilns and forges rises over the rooftops, signaling progress in a city still very much on the edge of survival. Each day the settlement grows, not only in buildings and streets, but in its collective will to endure. Every corner of the city tells a story of work and necessity. Bakeries fill the air with the scent of bread, while tanneries and butchers leave a harsher aroma, evidence of the toil required to sustain life. Shops display goods from London and the Far East, signaling a connection to a world far beyond these shores. Yet despite these comforts, hardship is never far away. Disease, hunger, and the unforgiving elements remind all who live here that the colony's survival is never guaranteed. Families carve out small lives amidst the chaos. Children play in the streets when their chores are done. Women fetch water from communal wells and prepare meals over open fires. Men engage in the hard, honest labor that sustains the colony, while some seek diversion in alehouses and games of chance. Sydney is a city of contrasts, punishment and freedom, hope and despair, toil and fleeting pleasure, woven into the fabric of daily life. Social hierarchy is evident in every street and building. Officers and officials hold power over convicts, while wealthy settlers begin to acquire property and influence. Yet in this young city, the lines are not yet fully drawn, and the energy of possibility hums beneath the surface, carrying with it the promise that fortunes might be made and lives transformed in ways unimaginable back in Britain. As night falls over Sydney, the city changes its character. Lanterns cast flickering light across cobblestones. The harbour glows under the moonlight, reflecting the masts of docked ships. Fires in cottages illuminate faces lined with toil and hope, while the streets grow quieter, though never entirely still. Stories are shared by firelight, tales of escape, survival, and longing. Each whisper carries the weight of a journey that brought settlers from distant lands and convicts from the depths of punishment to this precarious shore. In these early nights, Sydney reveals a resilience that will define its future. It is a city where every shadow speaks of perseverance, where every street echoes with effort, and where the determination of its people, both free and bound, ensures that life endures, even against the odds. The night is quiet, yet alive, a mirror of the colony itself, fragile, determined, and slowly, stubbornly, carving its place in the world. And so, Sydney stands at the dawn of the 19th century, a city of beginnings built on the labor of the punished and the ambition of the free. Here, along the harbour and amidst the timber cottages, a story unfolds, a story of survival, of adaptation, and of a human spirit unbowed. Convicts, settlers, and the land's first people coexist uneasily, yet their lives are intertwined in ways both visible and hidden. Every street, every wave, every whispered story tells the tale of a city forging its identity, day by day, year by year, on the edge of the unknown. This is Sydney in 1800, a city of beginnings, of struggle and hope, of people daring to make a life where once there was only wilderness. And from these humble, challenging, and often harsh beginnings, a metropolis will rise, one shaped by human endeavor, resilience, and the enduring will to thrive. If you've traveled back in time with us to witness the streets, the harbor, and the people of 1800 Sydney, imagine the stories yet to unfold. Subscribe to our channel and join us as we uncover more hidden corners of history, one city, one story, and one century at a time. And tell us in the comments, which moment of colonial Sydney surprised you the most?